What's up, and welcome back to another episode of building the Battle of Ryloth in Lego. I know it's been a little bit since the last episode. I had a lot of stuff going on, but we are back and we have a ton of parts that came in since the last episode. We have all of these 16 by 16 plates for the wall. We have 12 of them in there, and we have another entire bag of pieces. This one is full of just all of the necessary pieces that we're going to need. Some for the wall, also a ton of different bricks and tiles and slopes. And then I also did a couple of little minifig hauls, and we got some more of the phase 1 episode, or just Clone Wars style clone troopers that we're going to be using in this mock. But there is a ton of work ahead of us in this next episode, and this might actually be the last episode before the finale, depending on what I'm able to get done. So without further ado, let's get right on into this video. Now, the first thing that I want to tackle in this episode is actually going to be the wall, because I need to make sure that it's going to work how I have it in my head before I continue building the rest of this mock. So I'm going to show you guys what my idea is. First, you can see I have all these 16 by 16 plates set up, and then I have the other attachments up here, and it's going to go up just another set of 16 as well. So it's going to be a pretty sizable wall, but it's going to need something to support it, or else it's just going to fall over. So that's where our first kind of thing comes in. I want to build the support for the wall first, and then we can get the wall going. So I've had it kind of set up on these small little red pieces with the other studs coming out the side to hold it up, and that's kind of working pretty well here. But especially if I put the next set on, it's very flimsy, so I need something to kind of hold it, and I have to build up the whole back wall as well, and then doing supports on the inside as well. And then to have something go up on the sides, I was thinking of using these little rock pieces because they're tall and they're going to be less pieces to get higher, and they sit just right up there, and then I can put the little connectors on there as well, and it should work pretty well. But that's what I'm going to work on. It's kind of boring, so I probably won't time lapse it, so you're not bored just watching me trial and error this. But once I figure out the design that I want to do for the back wall, I will let you guys know. Okay, it's not pretty, but it's done, and it should be strong enough to do what I want it to do. You're just gonna have to trust the process. I know this doesn't really look like it can actually hold up a wall, but you see we have our small little connectors on each little individual setup going all the way to the top, and over here I actually have the two little plates set up, and that's what's going to make up this mountain. Now I do have to fill in all of the back and make it actually a little bit more structurally sound, because if this came down, it would not be good. I might redo just a little bit, especially right here. That's a little concerning. I used a little slope down there. I don't know why, I just did, so I might swap that out. But I'm gonna go build up the back wall now. Again, I'm probably not gonna time lapse. It's just gonna be me placing bricks, which I think is gonna be very boring, but I've got to get that going, make sure that this can stay nice and structurally sound. And then once I have this all done, we can actually work on the wall and finishing the rest of the area in front of it as well. Okay, the frame is done. It's not as structurally sound as I wanted it to be, but it should be able to hold up the mountain. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully we don't have to find out, and hopefully it's just able to hold it up. Like I said, it's not pretty, but it's going to be covered up by these plates up here. This is the first one I put together, and now we just have to do that 11 more times on all of those plates. It's going to take a while, but once it's done, it should look really good, I hope. And hopefully this mountain doesn't fall over, or else I'm going to have to start over and rebuild the entire thing. I didn't really have any set plan going into this of how I was going to do it. I just knew that I wanted to make it look as mountainous as possible and have a bunch of different layers and texture, so it doesn't look boring and it doesn't really look like Lego. I tried to make it look as much of a mountain as I could. I mean, the best that I could with Lego, doing a bunch of different slopes varying in different heights and variations, so nothing really repeated itself. I tried to get a bunch of variety. Then I messed around with some different colors and platings, and it came together pretty well. I made some really good progress on the mountain wall. Unfortunately, I underestimated the amount of pieces that I'm going to be needing to do this though, because I've completely run out of slopes. I was only able to complete this much of the 8th one, but I got 7 of the plates done, and I think it's looking very, very good in my opinion. Now, yes, there's definitely a lot more room for detail and improvement here, so if you have any suggestions, let me know. But I think now it is time to turn my focus to finishing off the bottom area and the rest of the terrain. I started where I left off in the previous episode, filling in where I wasn't able to before and going through my pieces. The only issue is that starting to go through all of these pieces, I realized how fast these tiles go. I ordered even more, thinking that it would be the last amount that I needed, but let's just say they went by pretty quick. I tried to get a good variation of different tile to stud ratio, and then I started building the next section that I was going to use with one of these lighter nougat colors just to get some more deviation in this. Then I finished tiling it out. Okay, I got a lot of different tiling and little plates down. I got a good amount of work done here and we're actually almost done. The only issue is that I am out of pieces. Now, in the last episode, I did say that I was going to be making my last order of parts, but it seems like I miscalculated what I'm going to be needing for this mock. So we're going to be needing to make another order. So I'm going to do a little bit more work with the last of my pieces. I have a couple more little like olive green pieces, and I'm going to try and do like a little area back here where it's like grassy and full of some foliage, because I think that would be nice and it would be a good contrast. It's kind of looking a little bit boring here. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a little too clean for my liking. I would have liked to have done like a gradual kind of incline up to the mountain, but it just wasn't going to work for the amount of pieces and time that I have to use for this mock. But overall, I am liking how it's turning out, and I think it's coming along pretty well. But yeah, I need the more pieces to finish out this, and I also need to get a bunch more slopes so I can finish the wall, which actually looks really nice. I like how the mountain is turning out. I think there's some good texture in there. Definitely some room for improvement, so I'll be working on that too. And I also have to figure out what I want to do for the top of it, because right now it's just plates and I don't have the pieces to kind of cut it off. I was thinking of putting these little 2x2 like cheese slopes up there, or just slope pieces, and kind of rounding it off like the top of a mountain. I think that would look pretty good. But any suggestions, let me know down below in the comments, and I'm going to get to work doing a small little area of foliage right back there. First thing I had to do was remove the tan tiles that were there before, and then I replaced them with the olive green tiles. I had to put tiles there just so when I attach the wall / mountain pieces, they will sit flush and not really be stuck up on top of a stud. Then I moved in, putting in a bunch of different tiles and plates in the olive green. I put some grass pieces, but I later took them out because I didn't really like how they looked. And then I put on a bunch of different leaf and foliage pieces to kind of bring this together and make it look all filled out. And I'm pretty happy with how this ended up turning out. Okay, this small foliage area was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. I did not have as many olive green pieces as I thought I did, but I really do like the contrast that this does make for the rest of the mock, going from that little bit of tan color scheme to a bit of a nice little green patch right there. So I might try and extend that a little bit into some other parts of the mock later on. But right now, since I don't really have any more tiles to finish tiling this or any work to do on the wall because I'm out of pieces, I'm going to start brainstorming what I want to do up here, because this is unacceptable. And I also want to mess around with some different ideas for some trees, because looking at the episode, there are actually quite a few trees. This is one that I put together kind of on one of the first episodes just to get an idea, but this isn't my end goal. This is definitely not like a sustainable thing, and I can't really duplicate this. It uses pretty much all of my pieces of these little 1x1 studs. So I'm gonna go mess around with a few different tree designs, and then I'll come back to you with what I come out with. Okay, I've come up with 4 different trees. The tops are all kind of like not set in stone yet. I'm just gonna mess around. I had to stretch out all of my different leaves because I don't have a lot right now. So the tops will change. I'm more curious about the trunks of the tree. So starting off over here, when you look at the Battle of Ryloth, the trees actually do have like a gray bark. So I tried to emulate that here by using a little chain piece and wrapping it up the stalk or the trunk of the tree on the brown. And I think, I don't know if it looks good. I'm kind of indifferent. I don't really like it, and it would also be a pain to do this to all of the different trees, but it's interesting. It's an interesting idea. Coming here is the first one with all of the different studs and little other pieces to make it kind of a bended kind of trunk, which I think is nice. It makes it look a bit more real. And I mean, this one's not really bended, but you can bend it like all the way, and I think it looks a lot better than the other ones. This one is just the plain old post piece, which does not look good in my opinion. It's too straight, it's too stiff, doesn't look good. And this one, I don't know what I was doing. I definitely won't be doing this. I don't like the little palm tree leaves. It doesn't look good, and it definitely doesn't fit. But I mean, it's an interesting trunk. You can move it around kind of a little bit. But honestly, right now, I'm kind of between these two right here. I think this one looks good. It has more detail. It's just gonna be a bit harder. And this one I think would just be easier, and I think it would look better if on a larger scale. But let me know down below in the comments which one of these trees you think is the best and I should use. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Maybe not 4. We're taking 4 out of the conversation. It's really between 1, 2, and 3. Or if I just do a mix of the 3 and put them around. Honestly, I'm kind of on the fence of just doing a mix of these 2. But let me know what you think for the trees. And if you have any suggestions on how to build trees, please let me know, because I struggled. I'm not a fan of building trees. Okay, so I did a little bit of staging for the battle just to kind of get a vision of what this is going to turn out to look like. And I am liking how it is coming along though. The one thing is that for the separatist side of things, the only really separatist like vehicles or tanks and stuff that I have are the AATs, and they're not bad. I just don't know if they really fit this. And the other thing is, I think droids, they just don't really look good set up. They're so stiff, they're so stagnant that they just look kind of bad. I know that there's the Clonari Customs droids that do look really good and would work very well, but those are pretty expensive, and I've kind of already gone through my budget for this mock series. So I don't know, I'll have to just mess around. So if you have any suggestions of what to do here, as well as any droid vehicles, if there's like a custom one that I could build that will fit here, because none of the bigger ones really fit in here, just given the size. And I don't know if I like the AAT or not. I think it works fine, but let me know down below in the comments. And then for the clone side of the things, I want to keep it kind of tame on the clone sides. I don't want to like have a ton of clones here and just take up the whole thing and just have it covered in clones, but I am kind of liking this number that I have going. The Captain Keeley that I ordered has gotten like delayed. It might be lost in shipping. I sent in a missing package like form, so hopefully that gets sorted, or else I'm gonna have to figure out something else to do there. And then I have the ATTE that I want to have up in here. But honestly, I think this is going to be the end for this update, and I think hopefully the next episode should be the last one before the finale, and we should be able to close it out. There's not really much else for me to do. It's really just finishing up the stuff that I've already started and then figuring out what to do with the top as well as the trees. So thank you all so much for watching this video, as well as the support on this series. If you have any suggestions or things that you'd like to see me do, let me know down below in the comments, and because I do read them all, I look at all of them and I take them into account when working on my next episode. So thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe. Drew signing out.